What up, booktube? It's Ricky. This is my first ever video here, and so I thought to start it out, I would do the books that I read in April and the books that I hope to read this month in May. I know it's a little over a week into it, but I thought there was no better time to start this up than right now. So we're just gonna jump straight into it, all right? The first couple books that I read in April were book one, A Powerless, and the novella Powerful. I did enjoy these, but they both got a 3 star from me. And the reason being that I think the romantic genre just isn't really my personal thing anymore. Now, a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I got back into reading actually for the first time since I was a kid by reading the acotar series. And at that point in time, I loved it. I really did. I read the first 4 books in that series, and I liked them for the most part. And but now after this past year, year and a half, like I said, I've feel like I've developed just a different taste in the books that I like, and I feel like I've moved past the romantasy genre for my liking. I still do like a good romance book. You see, we have a whole section right here, but I feel like I like to separate my fantasy and my romance books. I don't really enjoy them mixed up together because for the most part, I love a good high fantasy book. That is kind of my thing, but I don't think these are bad. They're just not my taste. I have the second book, so maybe at some point in time I'll get like the urge, like, hey, I want to continue the Powerless series, and then I will. But right now, no. Next book that I did read in April, though, was actually a book that I saw the trailer for the movie for a long time ago. I don't even remember when. It's been years. The book is called A Man Called Ove. The movie, American movie, was called A Man Called Otto with Tom Hanks. I wanted to see that for months and then never ended up doing that, which is usually how I am with movies. I'm just not a big movie guy. But I gave this book a 3 star. I did like it. I loved the beginning and I loved the end of the book. It's just the middle of it seemed a tiny bit repetitive for me, and it felt like it dragged on a little bit. I love the story, I do, but I feel like I would honestly like the movie more. I feel like the movie is where like I would give it a 5 out of 5. I still have yet to watch it, but I do think I'm going to soon. I'm actually gonna pull through with it this time. But the book, 3 stars for me. I did enjoy it. I'll definitely give some of Frederick Bachman's other books a chance. I've really been hearing a lot about Beartown, I believe is the name of the book. So maybe in the future we'll see more out of him on my monthly wrap ups. And the last 2 books that I read in April were also part of a series. The first one being The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. Second one being The Fires of Vengeance, also by Evan Winter. The first 2 and also only 2 books out in the Burning series. Both of these got a 5 out of 5 star for me. They had pretty much everything that I like to see out of a good fantasy book. There was so much action, so much revenge plots going on. I love the characters. I I was a tiny bit confused by the magic at first, but once I kind of figured out how it worked and understood how they used it to kind of progress the story, I loved it. I really did enjoy how it worked and how they utilized it, especially with Tao. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but I really did enjoy it. My only thing is, it's been 5 years since the second book, man. Like, I believe the first one came out 2019, 2020. I might be wrong. And then the second book came out a year later in 2020. And so now it's been 5 years since the second one. So what are we doing, man? Especially after the way the second one ended, I cannot wait to see what happens. But the thing is, I feel like these days, a lot of authors put out amazing series. They put out a couple books that are incredible, and then they are super successful, and then they just don't finish the series. It's like they don't know how to. I think they don't know how to like wrap up the world that they created. They don't want to wrap up the world they created, and so they just never do. I don't know. Maybe there's something that happened with Evan Winter. Like there's some personal like thing going on. Like he's just busy with something, and that's why. But I just hope that we get to see the conclusion to Tal's story there because I am very invested. These are some of my favorite fantasy books as of today that I've ever read. But moving past those 5 books, we are going to jump into the books that I hope to finish by this month. Now, keep in mind, the way that I usually do my TPRs is I pick out a good little list of books and I choose from those books. That way, that way, I'm not super worried about finishing every single one of them, but the books that I read are going to be from this list. Like I choose my most anticipated books and then just pick between them when the time comes. Like whenever I finish a book, I'll look through this list to figure out what I want to read next. Oh God, my pile just almost fell over. But first book up on this list is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. Brandon Sanderson remains, as of right now, my favorite author of all time. He is incredible. I gave every book in the Mistborm series a 5 out of 5 stars. I read Elantris, I read the Arcanum Unbounded, and now I am reading The Way of Kings, and I am absolutely loving it. I'm 900 pages in, so this will be finished within a couple of days. I tried to have it finished by the end of April, but that just was not happening. So we're going to finish it this month, and I'm sure it'll be a 5 out of 5 stars for me. I'm honestly loving it. I love Brandon Sanderson and the way he writes. Next book up that has been circulating around the book community a lot actually recently is I Who Have Never Known Men. This is a completely different genre jump than what I usually read, but I've heard so many good things about it. It has the bookmark in it, yes, but that's literally like 3 pages, and I read like a couple pages, but I don't really like to read multiple books at once, so I just put it down until I finish The Way of Kings. But I am genuinely looking forward to this. This is going to be my next read. Next, hopeful up on the list is the first Game of Thrones book. I got a huge book haul, like a thrifted. Me out of my phone. Oh, maybe that fixed it. I think that fixed it. I'm sorry about that. I don't know how long that's been going on. But I the first one. Oops. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Next book up on here is a good sci-fi book, The Martian by Andy Weir. I read Project Hail Mary a long time ago, maybe a year ago, and I gave that book 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it, so I'm very hopeful for this one. I saw the movie actually like years ago. I saw the movie, and so I already know the gist. It's been so long that I don't remember all the little details, but I do remember the gist, and I am very excited to read this book. I love the movie, I do remember that, and I love Project Hail Mary, so I'm very excited for this book. Next book I got up here is a horror book, The Institute by Stephen King. Maybe thriller, maybe not so much horror, but thriller. I've had this book for a super long time. I actually got The Running Man by Stephen King at the same time that we got The Institute. And I read The Running Man and loved it, and so I just never got around to reading The Institute. And so now it's up on the up for grabs. If not this month, then next month. But absolutely, I want to get it done by this month. The theme of it sounds very interesting, and I have been wanting to read this for forever now. So I think it's gonna get done this month. I love Stephen King. All the books I've read by him so far have been really good. Second to last book I have right here is a classic, East of Eden. I've heard so many good things about this. This is a complete jump from what I normally read, but I really want to get through this book. I've heard non-stop good things about John Steinbeck. This book, people say, changed their lives and things like that. And they can't stop thinking about it months and months later. And so I really want to get into it. I've heard a lot of good things about it. This I don't know when this book will fall into, but I'm hoping it's this month. I bought it. I haven't even had it for too long. I just got it from the bookstore maybe like a month ago, and I've been just trying to find a good time for it. Last book up though is actually one I want to read this before I watch the TV show, and so I went ahead and got it, and that is The Handmaid's Tale. I'm sure if y'all have heard of it, you'll know the gist of what it's about. I know the basic gist, but I don't know anything past that, and so that's why I've avoided watching the show. Anything to do with it, just wanting to read the book and get the full experience first. So I believe the book is kind of like a dystopian thing where women are treated as like property and just used for babies. As far as I know, I want to keep it very vague. Very vague and not really giving any details away. I'm sorry if that's like a super like basic description of the book. I'm sure it is. But I'm very excited to read that. I'll definitely get around to this this month. I actually think I'll read this one after I read I Who Have Never Known Men. I think those are going to be my next two books that I have up for grabs. So, but that's it. That's all for the books this month. That is seven books on the TBR for this month. If I get through at least like 3 or 4 of them, I'll be happy, especially with having The Way of Kings, a giant 1,200 page monster, which is pretty much 3 or 4 books in and of itself. I will be very happy. But let me know what you thought of my list. Let me know if there's any on here that is also on your list. I'm going to try and do a video like this every single week. Just like updates on my reading, updates on what I'm thinking, on the books that I'm buying, just everything to do with books. So let me know what you thought, and I'll see y'all next week.